Alright, so today we're going to be breaking down Brez Scale's $1 million per month sales funnel. I'm not going to try to sound smart by using any crazy words or anything like that. I'm just going to give you the exact value you came to this video for, which is to know exactly how Brez gets traffic, nurtures that traffic, and then converts that traffic into paying customers. So without further ado, let's just get straight into it. We're going to start off with breaking down his clipping accounts and how they go straight into his main accounts on Instagram and TikTok. So basically the way that this works is that he has two main clipping accounts which are on his Instagram, and then he has a few on the TikTok, which I have not listed here. But basically these clipping accounts obviously post clips. Clips are pretty cheap. I don't know why more people don't do them. It's like $5 a clip on the high end. As you can see, they're just clips from his longer videos, as well as sometimes these edits of when he buys really expensive stuff. So basically mostly lifestyle edits that just draw people into the funnel. I'm not going to break down the other one because it's virtually the exact same stuff. So both of these Instagram accounts are going to be funneling obviously into the Instagram main account, which is right here. So the main Instagram account has 635,000 followers and it has 16 posts, as you can see. But on the reels, he's been posting very consistently for a really long time. He's getting consistently like above 100,000 views. He's again posting lifestyle content, updating people on his lifestyle, and he's always keeping up the personal brand, never getting too serious no matter what. Even when he's responding to haters, he'll just be making a joke of them, which is another reason that Brez is doing so well. PGR Trades also does this, and he is scaled to $700 to $1 million per month consistently. So if you want to check out that video on how I broke down his funnel, go ahead and check it out up here. So for his story highlights, it's pretty self-explanatory. They're staying with the same theme of lifestyle content, whips, life, and fits. He's showing off his expensive fits, he's showing off his expensive lifestyle, and he's showing off his expensive cars. And then marketing obviously is just going to be a ton of case studies of his students, of how they got a ton of gains, like $100,000 per month, $200,000 per month, building a little bit of undeniable proof and building a little bit of social proof. I almost forgot to go over the bio, but basically he says I scale brands, introducing what the hell he does, car enthusiast. He's telling you something personal about himself, humanizing himself, as well as building a little bit of a personal connection with you before you even watch any of his content. Building Brez marketing and fiducia. This is building a little bit of authority since he's building actual huge agencies and brands. So people trust him way more automatically because he's actually built his own brand. The link is obviously to his landing page, as well as the other link being to his Brez marketing page, which is his agency, and I'm not going to break that down in this video because this is not an agency funnel breakdown. This is instead a coaching funnel breakdown. And then there's also the little brother of Instagram, which is the TikTok. And TikTok, it's basically Instagram, but every single other thing, like the nurturing aspect, the conversion aspect, every other knob is dialed all the way down, whereas the traffic getting and the reach knob, it is cranked all the way up. So TikTok is hands down the best way that you can get new audiences into your funnel. For the bio on the TikTok, it's pretty much the exact same. Freelance brand scaling, cars, M3 Adventador, GC3RS, apply to work with me. Almost the exact same. He's introducing what the hell he does, a little bit about him because of his cars, and then there's apply to work with me as a CTA. For the link, I actually really like the thing that he's done here, which is he's linking over to this link tree. Linktree should only be used on TikTok. I see way too many people using this on their Instagram and stuff like that. And honestly, that era is dead. Linktrees just add more friction to your funnel. And I personally never use them for a client except for if they have a TikTok funnel. And speaking of my clients, I do sales funnel optimization for coaches and consultants. So basically I look through your funnel, see where the leaks are, optimize it to the T so you can be making double or triple your income right now from the same exact audience. So if that sounds at all interesting to you, go ahead and check the first link down below where you can book in a free funnel analysis call, and I'm just going to go over your funnel personally. So if that sounds at all interesting to you, go ahead and check the first link down below and book in a free funnel analysis call, and I'll personally give you a full funnel audit. And let's just get back into the video. For the content side of things, he's posting the exact same content on his Instagram as well as his TikTok. The way he basically does this is that he posts one piece of content on the TikTok. If it does decently well, he'll repost it on the Instagram and he'll get even more views on there usually. At this point, people already know you and like you a little bit at least. At the minimum, they have to like you a little bit to be watching all of your short form content. So at this point, they might be interested and they might check you out on YouTube, or they might even be organically recommended Brez's channel because of their similar interests. And on this channel, Brez has 252,000 subscribers. I scale brands with paid ads and document my cool lifestyle as a young entrepreneur. And before I get any further in this funnel, I just need to warn you guys, do not spend too much time overcomplicating your bio or any crap like that. I see way too many people running around with bios written in like 17th grade English, using words like quintessential and stuff like that. Nobody thinks you sound smart. It's just gonna make your funnel run worse, in fact. So basically write down your bio, and then you're just going to feed it straight into ChatGPT for it to like do its magic, and then it'll spit out a quick simplified bio. For the content side of things, he's getting consistent 100 to 200,000 views, one of his videos will usually explode, get over like 400,000, 500,000 views. And I think the last video I made on Brez was like when he was at 100 something thousand. So he's growing at an insanely fast rate. And that's because of a lot of factors. And he's also done something really interesting with the way that he films these videos. So he takes his camera, right? And you know how most YouTubers will buy some expensive $2,000 gimbal and slap it on their camera to make it as stable as physically possible? Well, Brez doesn't actually do that. So basically what he does is that he purposely, I think, tells his cameraman, take the camera and then just like shake it around a little bit where it's not shaking very crazy like this. You can actually make out what's happening and it looks pretty smooth after the editing. And basically the reason that he does that is that it feels like you're in person right next to Brez and talking to him in real time. It doesn't feel like you're watching a video or anything like that. It makes you feel engrossed in the content and makes you feel like you're actually with Brez and you're actually there talking to him. That's one of the many small cues that Brez is using to make his videos absolutely explode. And speaking of those small cues, there's one that is insanely important specifically for monetizing his channel. So that specific thing is getting live notifications from his phones throughout the video. So basically, if you haven't watched any of Brez's videos before, what he does is that he'll randomly get this Shopify notification saying, oh, there was just a deposit of X amount of money into your bank account. And what he'll do is that he'll go to his phone and he will grab it and show to the camera in real time those payment notifications rolling into his phone. That builds a ton of undeniable proof because it is live and he can't really fake that. I mean, he can, but most people don't see that very often. But although it's annoying to hear the same thing again and again, it's true. We're actually in a trust recession these days. And if you cannot build your trust through undeniable proof, you're not going to make it in the info space. And so these creative ways of showing social proof that Brez has done, they work really well. An example of this would just be, you know how whenever somebody shows you their dashboard, they'll do a refresh because they need to make sure that everybody believes them. They could easily just inspect element and change the numbers on the page. But if you refresh, it makes sure that you're not actually faking it. And even then, a lot of people will say it's fake or they just used a fake page or something like that. But that's how little people trust each other these days. So that's why you need to show as much social proof as physically possible. Now for the actual type of content, as I said before, Brez is just doing a ton of lifestyle content. I'm pretty sure we all have watched Brez's content. Super raw and authentic content. Really not that much editing. As you can see, the thumbnails are really raw. Literally him just taking a selfie or being taken a photo of. And if he's buying some kind of expensive thing, he's obviously just going to show it in the photo with him. So super raw thumbnails. I don't even think he edits them in the slightest. He just takes the photo and posts it on YouTube. Now at this point, there's two places where people can go. So there's either going straight back to his Instagram where they're going to be converted and check out the link, which is going to take them over to this page, or that's going to be going over to the X. I'm not going to really go into detail on the X. I'm going to quickly break it down in like 15 seconds. Basically, the bio is the exact same. He's linking the YouTube to funnel you back into the YouTube so that you can be nurtured even more after the X, because he's trying to make his X as a top of funnel, which I do have a few problems with since X is mainly a bottom of funnel and middle of funnel social media. So I personally think that Brez should be using the X for conversions and as a bottom of funnel social media. But the type of content that he makes is the exact same lifestyle content designed to get more people to see that content. But as I said before, he's trying to funnel people from the X, from the top of funnel, straight back into the YouTube. And so that means that most people from the YouTube will not check out his X and instead will go straight back to his Instagram, where they're going to be linked over to the main landing page, which we're going to be breaking down right now. And right before we break this whole landing page down, I'm going to quickly explain how his landing page and how this type of funnel that he's running is so effective. And this is the main reason. None of those fancy levers, none of those flywheels, none of these styles of content or anything like that are more important than this specific thing, which is the market research. And I know you've heard this a billion times before, but trust me, market research is the most important thing in a funnel, period. And that's why Brez can speak so deeply to his audience. He knows them better than they know themselves. So he knows all the answers to these questions, the promise. He knows the problem they're facing. He knows the journey that they're going to go through. He knows the problem lists. He knows the exact desired situation they want to go to. He knows exactly what the gap is and how they're going to bridge it with him. He also knows the exact unique selling proposition and his details, as well as why they should believe him, and yada, yada, yada. I'm not going to go over all of that, but you get the point. Market research is extremely important, hands down. And if you want a copy of this PDF sent over to you, go ahead and just DM me on Instagram and I'll send it right over to you. And now finally, the thing you all have been waiting for, which is Brez's landing page. So contrary to popular belief, good landing pages, the landing pages that sell the most, are the simplest and sometimes even the shortest landing pages. Up to a point, of course, you need to have the VSL, you need to have the buttons, you can't just have a white screen. obviously, but up to a point, landing pages that have these core principles as well as social proof, those are the ones that perform the best. You can add all those shiny objects optimizing the 1 or 2% later, but right now the 90% is the core functionality of the landing page: social proof, buttons, VSL, headline, tagline, and subheadline. That's it. So you'll see the top headline, brand new mini course reveals the exact strategy I used to go from a fat Fortnite kid to making over 6 figures per month with freelance brand scaling. You'll see that he used the word fat Fortnite kid. And that's again because he knows that his audience is in between like the ages of 16 all the way up to 21. So nobody older than that is usually going to be watching his content or anything like that because they just don't vibe with him. He's not making content for that specific audience. So that's why he can use such specific terms like fat Fortnite kid, because these people have experienced it before. If you told a 30 or 40-year-old man that you were a fat Fortnite kid, they'd just be confused and would instantly leave your page. And that's exactly what Brez wants, because he specifically wants his ICP, which just means ideal customer, by the way. So you might be thinking, yeah, this is the VSL and you're going to break it down right now. Nope, that's not the VSL. So what Brez is doing is that he's running something called a mini course funnel. What he did was that he basically positioned his VSL as a lead magnet, saying that it's a mini course. So then you would click this button expecting a ton of free value, and then he'd instantly redirect you straight into this page where you'd give your full name, email, and phone number. And now you got a little bit of skin in the game. You press the button and you now have to give your email and phone number because of the sunk cost fallacy. You already gave something. You got some skin in the game. You're going to lose that little bit of time. You're going to lose that little effort of clicking your button. And so they're going to fill in their email, they're going to fill in their phone number, and then the sunk cost fallacy is going to get even deeper because now you've given their email and phone number. So now you have to sit through the VSL at the minimum to get your email and phone numbers worth, which just has the exact same heading, subheading, and all that jazz. And it also has Elite Roundtable at the top because he references the Elite Roundtable a lot in his videos. So he's just telling people that, yeah, you're in the right place. This is where you're supposed to be. And then you'll click play on this VSL, and it's a pretty generic VSL with just a little bit of Brez spice added on with the social proof and all that jazz. It's about 12 minutes and 30 seconds, so on a bit of the longer end on VSLs. So I'm going to quickly break down in 15 seconds how this VSL works. So start off with introducing himself, what the hell he does. And then after that, he's going to say that you have this huge problem that you didn't even know about. And then after that, he's going to be like, oh, my product or my coaching is the solution. But at this point, you don't trust him enough to actually buy his products. Or maybe you do, but you just need that little bit of a like push over the edge to finally buy and click that button. And so he's going to present you a metric ton of social proof. He also included variability in the social proof, which I really appreciated. Since you want to add a little bit of variability in the social proof, you don't want to just spam screenshots or spam video testimonials. You want to make sure that there's a mix of everything else. And then at the end, he's going to do a hard CTA telling you to buy right now. After that, just a metric ton of social proof. Very variable social proof. Again, I really like the way Brez did this. So he's going to start off with video testimonials. He's also going to start off with these text testimonials. Then he's going to do some screenshots. And then that's going to be the entire page. Since he has a lot of screenshots, but not a lot of video testimonials. The one thing I'd like for Brez to change personally is that I know he has better social proof than this. Like, he only listed like 20,000 months or 20,000 months and then 15,000 months and then 10,000 months, which I do get what he's trying to do. But personally, I'd recommend that he also include like a few $100,000 per month or $50,000 per month social proofs to speak to that audience as well, because they don't really resonate with this small numbers of $10,000 a month. Maybe they're already at that point, but they want you to scale even further with them. So that's really the only thing that I could recommend to Brez. Super well fleshed out landing page and really, really well done overall funnel. And so that was Brez Scale's $1 million per month sales funnel, broken down into the nitty gritty. I went over exactly how he gets traffic through the clipping accounts and his short form platforms, then how he nurtures that traffic through his YouTube. Then I also covered exactly how he uses his X. Instead of being a bottom of funnel, he uses that as a top of funnel. Then we finally covered how he does market research, how he converts people on the landing page to give him his email, and then finally converts them to give him cold hard cash on the main landing page and VSL. So I hope you got a ton of value from that video, and if you did, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe and all that YouTube jazz. And if you want to work with me, go ahead and check the first link down below where you can book in a free funnel analysis call. As I said before, I'm going to do it personally. I'm going to be on that call personally, so it's not going to be some kind of random closer or some kind of random person that you haven't met before. It's just going to be me personally talking to you. And if you don't want to do any of that and you just want to watch another one of my videos, go ahead and check this one out right here because YouTube thinks that you'll like it. Check out all the rest of the funnel breakdowns on this playlist right here. And you can also quickly subscribe right here. Hope to see you in the next video. Goodbye.